2014, May 22nd of 2014, my daughter activated her premeditated plan to run away and go live with my adopted parents, where there were no rules, there were no curfews, and there were no expectations other than to get good grades. I didn't know then what I do know now, and I didn't have the paper trail in which I have now. I didn't know what parent alienation was, and I was really lost, and I was scared, and I didn't know what any of this really actually meant. It would take years for the answers to come to me and for me to be able to educate myself enough and to find the paper trail to prove what actually had happened. It's sad, and unfortunately, it's happening to way more of us out there than are being talked about. So I'm here to bring up the issue of parent alienation syndrome. It's not always straightforward and it's not a textbook, but I'm about to experience with you what I went through, and we're going to just talk about it. And we're going to hope that maybe one person sees this that will know that they are no longer alone. The amount of people in which I'm going to be exposing in upcoming episodes of the Plain Truth series, you can find it on YouTube, Plain Truth Series 2.0. The amount of people that I'm about to expose are going to have to live with the shame forever that they decided that when they couldn't get at me any other way that they were going to use my child. And they left a paper trail. I'm also going to expose how the Department of Child and Family Services, even with a redacted file, exposes who calls in a report against somebody in the Commonwealth. I don't know if they did it intentionally or if they're really that stupid, but I'm also going to expose to you how much a DCF child caseworker makes a year and how angry they get when you talk about that, even though it's public information based right out of the own website for the company or the department that they work for. There's a lot coming up, guys, and I just want to tell you it was real hard on me, but I've survived. The lasting effects are forever for both myself and my daughter. I want to make it very clear right out the gate that I'm not a perfect mom, but none of the allegations against me ever were pursued, and in fact, I can prove how they were fictitious. So, obviously, if what were accused of me were true, I would be on death row or in a jail cell. And it's amazing the extent that people will go through just so they can get their way, just so their agenda is the only one that's being filled. So yeah, I've had people do shitty shit to me. And I have the paper trail to prove I did not do anything to deserve it. And I did not do anything that was accused of me. Lastly, as we move forward and these episodes start being produced and published, I want to make sure everybody out there understands that I never asked my daughter to be perfect either. And if somebody doesn't communicate with me or even try to communicate with me or have somebody that they trust communicate with me, a therapist, somebody at the school, or etc., I can't address what they may be thinking or what their brain may be doing and saying. So I am just here to tell you that I'm not perfect and I never expected my daughter to be perfect. I accept the imperfectly perfect. I love my daughter, obviously, or I wouldn't have stayed around this long to regain a relationship with her before my terminal illness terminates me.